So last
Prabhu, I would like to recite a shloka.
Yes, Prabhu, go ahead, please.
Hope you could able to hear my voice on speaker.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you are also audible. Go ahead.
1 second, Prabhu. 1 second. Sorry, Prabhu, I need to put glasses, so that's why I took time. The words are very small. Okay, Prabhu. 1540, right, Prabhu?
Yes. So you are reading from your book, huh?
Yeah, reading from book. Yes,
yes,
Prabhu.
yes.
Tvamapya dabhadrasuta visrutam vibhoh samapyate yena vidam bubudsitam prakyahi dukkhair muhurarditatmanam sanklesha nirvana musanti nanyata. Prabhu, I am reading from Telugu Bhagavatam, so that's why it's very little okay.
But read the English translation, though we cannot understand Telugu translation.
Yes. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. For that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries.
Such an amazing translation. These words, couple of words are very interesting. Adabra Suta, Vishrutam. There are two parts to here which you have learned, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. See, there's something which is very interesting here. I would like devotees to point it out. This line which I read. Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. Now these two lines, this indicates something very unique and special. Very unique. Very important point. Not only unique, but a very important point also. What is that? Narada Muni is telling something about Vyasadeva in these two lines. That implies something very important. Yes, Mata.
Like Vyasadeva had read all of the Vedic literature, and he could understand. He could get the conclusion of all of it. Because
but what is you're right, but what is that special thing in there? He has read all the Vedas. Fine. What is it that implied there between Narada Muni and what Narada Muni is implying? He's implying something there.
Prabhuji, is it that Vyasadeva had not described Lord's activities before?
The
Leelas were not described in the previous writings.
He has not described in unique, as an exclusive shastra. Just little bit here and there in between, like some masala you are putting in the, like that. You just little bit here and there in this. That is also very indirect. That's not my point.
His not. Vyasadeva has not shared his.
Sorry, what is that?
Has Vyasadeva not shared his conclusions? But
you're almost there. You're almost there.
Means he has something, but he has not distributed it.
That's See, this entire chapter, Narada Muni does not speak anything specific about any Leelas of Krishna. Does he say anything about Govardhan Leela or Kaliya Leela or any of those things? He does not. What does he do? He only tells about the importance of describing those things, the importance of such topics, transcendental topics, correct? So what does it imply? Vyasadeva already has all the, he already knows everything. See, that's why he's telling, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. You already know the Lord's activities. But deliberately you have not told this. You understand what he's saying here? After telling this entire chapter about the importance of the devotional service, importance of Krishna Katha, distributing Krishna Katha, how it is Jagat Pavitram, how it will create revolution, etc., etc., etc. Last verse is telling this that please therefore, it's a concluding verse. So he saying therefore, therefore means after telling all this is conclusion. What is the conclusion is telling? That describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, which means Vyasadeva already knows all the Lord's transcendental activities. But deliberately he avoided explaining them directly. You understand? So that is the cause of his despondency. In other words, you have the medicine and you see that somebody is suffering. If you don't give the medicine, then your knowledge of that medicine, this medicine is the remedy for that problem, is of no use. You understand? During Corona, everybody was given that free this thing. Corona was given free of charge, isn't it? The company, India was, they were producing these things. They had spent a lot of money in that. But all the people who were there, they were all given free. We all got the shots for free only, correct? Maybe a few people would have was paid for that or whatever. But then pretty much everybody was given free this thing, dosage, whatever. It is good or bad, that is secondary. But then whatever they gave, that they didn't charge for it. If suppose the government said, let people die, we don't know, we know we have the vaccine, but we will not give. Now, do you think the people will be happy with the government?
No. No.
What they will say, you are torturing people, you are responsible for saving the people, but you are killing them by your laziness. So we will throw you out of the scene. Correct?
Yes.
Right? This is
Right,
how.
right.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Right, Prabhu, what you said is right.
So similarly, Vyasadeva knew that this is the vaccine for the fever or the material disease. And he knew that this has to be given also, but still he was not giving it. That is the reason for his own despondency. What to think of others' despondency? This is a very, very important secret that we should be aware from this pastime, that our despondency will not go unless and until we try to dissipate others' despondency. We will not be blissful unless and until we try to give bliss to others, try to make others blissful. And we need to know the secret of that. That secret is what Narada is telling. Describe the Lord's activities, which are not by body. That will do two things. One is it will satisfy the hankerings of the great commandment. At the same time, it will mitigate the miseries of the general common. Fourth is only Bhagavatam, only the Krishna Katha can do both of them at one go. No other scriptures can do both of them. Got it? So this first line itself gives so much important message that we should not hold the knowledge with ourselves. That is why Prabhupada kept telling, do go to preaching. Why? Because even if you have half-baked knowledge also, the mood that is there in our heart to give to others, that will rectify the whole situation. That will remove the impurities in the or imperfections in our knowledge. You got it? So this is exactly the point that we should know, that we should understand why Narada Muni is insisting Vyasadeva that you please go and give this knowledge to everybody. You don't think that for knowledge group people you should give like this, for suffering people you should no. You just give. Both people will get benefited. Ganga just flows. Ganga doesn't say, oh, here people are drinking, I will be more pure here. So here people are only washing, so I will not be pure there. No, Ganga is the same. As long as it flows fast, it is always pure, right? When you see Ganga near the, I don't know, there Hardwar, Rishikesh, where there is it's flowing so fast, it's so pure. When it is continuously flowing without any um, uh, without any restrictions or reservations, it is pure. So our knowledge also is valued only as long as it is flowing. It is distributed. That is very important. That is why that is the solution that we are our Narada is giving to us. By giving to others, you yourself will enjoy it, and then you will be cured of your despondency. And the secret is that we should not think that, hey, by giving to others, my despondency will go. That should not be our objective. The secret of removing your despondency is that you don't even think about your despondency. You just carry on with the giving to others because your feeling for others is so, you are so much pain to see others suffering that you don't see your suffering as greater than others suffering. So that is how we get rid of our own suffering. Because when we think about other suffering, naturally we forget about our suffering. And Krishna takes care of our suffering only. Krishna is very tricky. He will take care of our suffering only when we forget about our suffering. Only when we think of other suffering, he will think of our suffering. When I think of my own suffering, Krishna will say, then it's a waste of time, two people doing the same job. Right? When suppose you are sweeping the floor, somebody says, Prabhu, I will also sweep the floor. You give the sweeping broom to the other person and go and do some other seva. You don't say, no, I will sweep, you also sweep like that. We don't waste our two people. Why two people are needed to do one seva? So Krishna says, if you are worried about your suffering, I will not worry about your suffering. The two people are needed to do the same thing, the same work. You think about other suffering, then I will think about your suffering. I mean, I will worry, I will solve your suffering. That is how, this is the secret of how by trying to help others, our problems are solved automatically. By trying to remove others' miseries, our miseries are automatically taken by care of. See, this is such a beautiful line, first in itself. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by the vast knowledge of the Vedas. Prabhupada took inspiration from this verse. That is why he had learned all through his Grahastha life. He was learning and learning. I don't know where he had got the time and energy to do that. He was learning even when he was doing the business. He had to take care of the three, four children, then his wife, then people who were coming. So many of his godbrothers and other Vaishnavas were coming home. He had to take care of them. He did not have the support from the wife and children. Even cooking and other things he had to do many times on his own. And he had to talk to them, spend time with them, and his business also. And in between, he was also, where did he have the time to learn this Sanskrit? Where did he have the time to understand these verses and also meticulously? Really mind-boggling to think about this. Maharaj always used to say that I am not able to even decipher where and when Prabhupada had the time to learn the Sanskrit, and where and when he had the time to meditate on each and every word and put the words in that specific context. Simply unimaginable, inconceivable it is. You see, first line itself gives so much the idea that we should not keep the knowledge with ourselves. Go and give it to people. No, don't need to have I need to have a forum. I need to have a group of people. Only then I can go and speak. That is not how it works. That gets arranged naturally and automatically as and when needed, as and when Krishna arranges. Otherwise, you just pick up the phone and talk to some devotee saying that Prabhuji, I learned this nice verse today. Can we just discuss? Then talk to somebody and when they say, Prabhuji, can you share something which you read today? In fact, in our online classes, what are we doing? We are just sharing whatever we learned and we are discussing our realizations and trying to bring that faith in there. Most of the times, my discussions with my Guru Maharaj, I mean, Maharaj Maharaj, used to be on this lines only. The moment, many times you just call, a week we used to discuss um, at least 3-4 times a week, have a call and phone call. Maharaj will call me and then ask, Kalacakra, which verse did you read today or which section did you read today? Then I will tell one verse and Maharaj will tell a few points on top of it. And then he will say some nice realizations on top of it, and then say, now write a Grantaraj article based on this. Then I will have to squeeze my mind to get some points in there, right? And I will share sometimes. I will call Maharaj. Maharaj, I read this beautiful few lines from the purport, and Maharaj will really enjoy that. And in fact, he will go to such an extent that as soon as he hears this, he will immediately say, "Wait, Kalacakra, I will just get my diary." And then Maharaj will take his diary. And in the diary, he will tell me to dictate word by word that statement from the purpose. And then with comma, full stop, everything I have to, with the punctuation, I have to tell word by word. And then he will slowly write it. All this will happen in the phone call only. And then he will tell, he will write the entire thing. And then he will read it once slowly. And then he will give some beautiful realizations on top of it. This is how most of the times our interactions used to be. And then Maharaj will connect that with some specific incident that is happening in that at that time, or he will connect with some other incident that happened way back, and then say that this is why we have to understand this point clearly. Otherwise, we will get into these kind of situations and this kind of problems. So that is how the realizations get sorted out when we do the Matsita Matata Prana Bodha. It doesn't matter whom we talk to. It doesn't matter which point of this knowledge. We can share this, or we can always ask some questions. You can say, Prabhuji, we can tell these things our side and say, Prabhuji, is my understanding correct? Can you throw some light on this point? We can have that kind of a discussion. What stops us from doing that? This is why Prabhupada is writing. What is Prabhupada is writing all these purports and commentaries and word for word for? Isn't it Prabhu's method? If we can simply think for a moment that why did Prabhupada write this word for it? See, for example, this actually includes two things here. When he says Adabra Shruta Vishrutam Vibho, Vibho means Krishna. Shruta Vishrutam. What does that mean? Shruti means Vedic. Normally, what you do, you hear. But here, this includes both hear and study. In one and Supatan also. Because that is what vast learning, vast knowledge of the Vedas. Without study, how can you get the knowledge? Simply by hearing alone, you don't get the knowledge. After hearing, you have to contemplate on it. This is a nice, beautiful purport. We would have read this earlier. Who is sharing the screen, by the way? Is that Rajesh Prabhu?
Yes, it's me, Prabhu.
Usually you do it very thoroughly. Thank you. You are missing your classes. 1344. Please take this verse in another window. I'll tell you what we should do after hearing. 1344.
Can you see, Prabhu?
Yeah, this is the verse. But let's go to the purport. To tell you about how the purport is. Read this. Can somebody read this purport? This shows how Bhagavatam, this particular purport shows how Bhagavatam has to be read. Who wants to read this?
Shall I read, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Please, Mataji, Sandhya Mataji, right? You
Yes,
can read.
Mataji.
Prabhu, can you zoom it a little bit, Prabhu? Please,
Can I read, Prabhu?
please, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare
Read the
Krishna.
purport. You
Yeah,
can read the
Hare Krishna.
translation and the purport.
It is not seen on the screen, Prabhu, here. Only purport is seen.
No.
Translation. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O learned Brahmanas, when Shukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him, and as I have realized it.
So there are two things here. One is learning and another is realizing.
Realized.
It's not enough just simply to hear and whatever he said I will speak. Okay, what is your realization of it? I don't have any realization. Then what is the point? We have put some effort to realize it also. That yatantasya dridhavrata has to happen. The realizing the text with proper attention. Now please read the purport, Mataji.
Yes, purport. One can certainly see directly the presence of the Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam if one has heard it from a self-realized great soul like Sukadeva Goswami. One cannot, however,
See, how
learn
nicely
Bhagavatam.
Prabhupada is saying here, every line has to be relished in full joy, See, what Prabhupada is saying is that you can directly see the presence of Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Now, this purport which you are hearing, this purport is actually not different from Krishna. This is the beauty. This translation, it is not different from Krishna. We have to, this is actually we are experiencing Krishna here, right in this page. What a beautiful line was saying. Directly the presence of Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Only condition is you have to hear it from a self-realized soul like Shukadeva Goswami. And luckily, we have Srila Prabhupada who is as good as Shukadeva Goswami for us. Because he did not distribute Bhagavatam or the science of devotional service for any of his personal name and fame, for his followers, for will, for anything else. And for none of these things he did this service. We all know. That is why even today he is glorified for his amazing seva achievement. Who can write a statement like this? One can certainly see directly the presence of Lord Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. So here we are hearing from Prabhupada, we are hearing from Sukadeva Goswami, we are hearing from Sutta Goswami. So we can actually see Krishna in this purport. You can see. Please continue, Mata.
Yes, Prabhu. 1 second. It is not going.
Next time.
Still 1 second, Prabhu. It's not moving the other one. Bhagavatam. Sorry. Why this screen is not moving? Yeah. Bhagavatam. One cannot, however, learn Bhagavatam from a bogus hired reciter whose aim of life is to earn some money out of such recitation and employ the earning in sex indulgence. No one can learn Srimad Bhagavatam who is associated with the persons engaged in sex life. That is the secret of learning Bhagavatam, nor can one learn Bhagavatam from one who interrupts the text by his mundane scholarship. One one has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of Sukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Krishna in the pages, that
See,
is
in
the
this
process.
purport, this entire purport, Prabhupada keep on repeating this point. Seeing Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Seeing Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. This is a very amazing thing that only Prabhupada has done. See how nicely he is saying this secret of learning Bhagavatam. This purport is nothing but it talks about the secret of learning Bhagavatam. See, it's such a nice thing. 2 points he says. One is if a person trying to use this Bhagavatam by using Bhagavatam to become name and fame to indulge in illicit sex life and earning money and name and fame, etc. Or the other person is who interprets the text by his mundane scholarship, who does not have faith in the previous acharyas. These two kind of people will, it's like a sarpo chishta payoyata. It's like the snake touching the milk. Once the snake touches the milk, it is poison. Correct? It's like that. So there you cannot see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. And that is why people think, hey, this Bhagavatam is just some story, because they have heard it from the wrong source. The source is not pure. You see, the subject matter is pure, but the source is also has to be pure. The one who is distributing it also has to be pure. And that distribution is what Narada is telling to Vyasadeva. You have heard it, but now you distribute. In what way? Like what Sukadeva Goswami and Sutta Goswami glorifies Sukadeva, Karunaya, out of mercy. When you are interested only in your own benefit, where is the Karuna in there? Where is the eagerness to give in spite of our inabilities? I mean to say our inconveniences. Bhagavatam has to be given to anybody and everybody, disregarding our own inconveniences and seeing others' miseries more than ours. Only then we can see the pages, Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam, and only then others can see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. He had nothing with him. He lost his business. He all his God brothers, none of them supported him. Family deserted him. And then, luckily, somehow or other, even to go to the US, how many times he had to go and sit in that Sumati Muraji's that is steamship company. He did not that cargo ship company. He did not give the ticket right away. In fact, he said, "I don't have any money," and she said, "Okay, if I have to give you some ticket, you need to have money." He said, "I don't have any money. Please give me at least the cargo ship I can go." Cargo ship, imagine, there won't be any facilities in the cargo ship for I mean to say, when you see cargo ship is something where no people will travel. Very few people will travel. Most of them, it's like goods. It's like the goods train, right? In a goods train, you don't see anyone other than the driver and the guard. Rest of it all is goods only. Correct? And how much guts he must have had, how much surrender to Krishna he must have had, that in that cargo ship, what kind of medical facilities they would have had when he had those 2 heart attacks. And at 70 years of age, he had to travel. And the first time he's traveling in the ship, by the way. Even we travel, we'll get sickness. And at 70 years, he's traveling. Why? He's disregarding his own inconveniences. He wanted to give this message to everyone else. And that is why this book is now worshipped like anything. How many homes do people have Bhagavatam, other Bhagavatams I'm saying, and opening and reading it with so much meticulous endeavor? Even though we may be a few, but still, the fact is that we are able to release every word of Prabhupada, what is written. Because of the amount of effort that has gone into it, endeavor that has gone into it. Only to please Krishna, nothing else. So let's read further. Please go further. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative. Mataji's. Anyone else wants to read?
I will read, Prabhu.
Yes.
As he
One has to learn.
One
has to learn Bhagavatam.
Sukadeva Goswami that he wants.
Third line at the end. First line at the end.
Sukadeva Goswami described. I will just read this. There is.
Shall I start, Prabhu?
Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative
No.
of.
Where are you, Prabhu? One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representatives of the Goswami. Prabhuji has highlighted it also.
No. One has to learn Bhagavatam from the representative of the Sukadeva Goswami and no one else. If one at all wants to see Lord Sri Krishna in the pages, that is the process, and there is no alternative.
Pushanti na anyata. There is no alternative. See, the same
Yeah.
thing is there. Prabhu, you switch the window there to 1540. You go up, Prabhu. See, indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Pushanti na anyata. Na anyata means there is no other means. There is again same thing there. If you go to there 1344, there is no alternative. You see? Yeah. Please continue, Prabhu. Sutta
Lord
Goswami.
Sri Krishna.
Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative.
That is the process. There is no alternative. Okay. Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana.
See, this is a very important line. See how these two are getting connected. This purport and that. See, frankly speaking, I didn't have any plan or idea of sharing this, or reading this purport. It just Krishna arranged for us to go to this 1344 from 1540. But you see how they are running in parallel. You read that line again, Prabhu.
Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of the Sukadeva Goswami because he wants to present the message which he received from the great learned Brahmana.
This is the important quality. He wants to present. He wants to present the message he received from the Brahmana. We need to have the urge to give this knowledge to others. And that is what was the problem with Vyasadeva. He had the knowledge, but he didn't want to give it. He was worried that people may not take it in the right way. And because of that, holding it back with himself, he was in despondency. You see? And you see that this medicine, this is the best medicine for all the troubles and miseries. Then automatically will be, right? Please continue.
Yes.
See how these are connected. This Sutta Goswami is a bona fide representative of Sukadeva Goswami because he wanted to give. He had the urge to give that to everybody because he felt satisfied. Hey, my problems are going off by hearing this Bhagavatam. So everybody's problems should also go off by hearing the same thing. So the urge should be there. Yes, Prabhu.
So wonderful that Sukadeva Goswami presented Bhagavatam as he heard it from the his great father, and so also Sutta Goswami is presenting Bhagavatam as he heard it from Sukadeva Goswami.
See, Sukadeva Goswami also heard it from Vyasadeva and he presented it to Parishit Maharaj. And in that assembly, Vyasadeva, Narada, Sutta Goswami, everybody was there. Sutta Goswami also now received it and he is also giving it in the same way to the stages. This is the thing how we call this parampara. Parampara is not just connecting physically. Parampara means carrying the mood of our acharyas, of having that urge to give, because they know that except this, there is no other alternative in the Kali Yuga. Holy names, Krishna Katha, which is glories of Krishna. These two are the only things that can remove all the troubles and problems. Now comes the important part. We are talking about Shravanam, no? Simply hearing is not all. Now Prabhupada is now going to give this. These few lines are really amazing. So let's read it further from there on.
Simple hearing is not all. One must realize the text with proper attention.
This is the point. This is where I told study is important. If you hear it alone, Shravanam alone, then it will just go away. But you recap it. If you go back on it again and again and again, you churn it again and again and again. That's when the realizing the text with proper attention will happen. We realized every word of the text. From how much more there are so many meanings for each of those words. Like for example, this Atma Ramaschamunaya Sloka. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 64 different meanings to Sanatana Goswami, Arasara Bhattacharya. Right? So many different meanings he gave. And he said, I can give much more. For one sloka, if he can give so many different meanings, 18,000 slokas, how many more are there? That is why Bhagavatam is so amazing. Please continue, Prabhu.
The word Nivistha means that Suta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears.
This is the thing. When you are drinking means, simply Shravanam means you will not be enjoying so much. Whereas you will, but not to that extent when you actually enjoy in your mind also, you keep repeating it and relishing it more and more. So the word Nivishta means that Suta Goswami drank the juice of Bhagavatam through his ears. Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, the nectar is flowing from his mouth, and he is hearing. But while hearing, drank means when you are drinking, you are enjoying the taste, isn't it? That is the most tangible way of representing your enjoyment. Yes or no? Right? It retains for some more time, isn't it? Especially when we keep drinking. When you see, we enjoy something. When we see, we enjoy, but that enjoyment is not translated into a tangible form of experiencing that enjoyment. You understand or not? When I say, Prabhu, this juice is very tasty, right? When I drink the juice, the eat something very nice, tasty thing, sweet or something. The taste actually is much more tangibly relishable for us to experience it. Yes or no?
Yes.
If I see some nice color which I like, that may be there, but I may be enjoying it from eye point of view. But that the enjoyment is not as tangible as enjoying the juice. Why? Why? Can somebody say that? From a mundane perspective, not from a, don't have to go very deep.
Do you want to repeat the same experience?
Sorry, Prabhu?
Do you want to repeat the same experience of drinking again and again?
No, not about want to repeat, Prabhu. It is very simple. See, we have these things, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, correct?
Yes.
So in that, when you see something in the vision, it will have the Rupa. Rupa has a form, right? But it does not have the taste or smell, yes or no? Right?
Right.
When you see air, it doesn't have the form. You can smell it, but you cannot see the form, correct? But on the other hand, suppose you get a mango, very ripe mango. It has a form, it has taste, it has a juice, it has the smell, fragrance, everything is there, right? So all the experiences of this Sattva, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha is there in it. That is why we always compare it with the juice. You got it? It is grown from the earth, and so that Gandha is also there. It has that that mango juice in it. Hmm? The form of the this thing is also there. The taste is also there. Gandha is also there. Right? Everything is there. If I hear, hearing will not have the form or the taste or the smell. Correct? Hearing is done through the air. Air is carrying the sound vibration. Right?
Yes.
Right? The sound vibration doesn't have the form, doesn't have the taste and all that. But then juice, it has everything. So that is why he is comparing it here that you drink the Krishna Katha through the ears. When you are hearing, normal hearing did not have all these 5 different things. But because it is Krishna Katha, it has all the 5 different ways of experiencing. All the senses are experiencing. That's what it means. Right? So drank the juice of Bhagavatam through the ears means he is experiencing the taste, he is experiencing the form, he is experiencing the gandha, everything he is experiencing. That is the transcendental nature of the Krishna Katha. Through ears, you cannot experience the taste, the sweetness of the mango juice. You pour mango juice through the ears, you will not experience the sweetness of the mango taste. Correct? Or you pour the watermelon juice or pomegranate juice, you will not experience the taste through the ears from a material point of view. But Krishna Katha, because it transcends the material thing, the same ear can do the function of all the other senses. You got it?
Yes, Prabhu, I got it.
So everything put together is in this here. That is why he is telling, drank the juice of Bhagavatam through the ears. Please now continue, Prabhu. Sandhya Mataji, I'm sorry because there is some time lag. We took it over from you and Suresh Prabhu is reading. You can read further in the next verse which you are reading. But in the meantime, let Prabhu continue.
Okay,
and
Prabhu.
finish this. Yes,
That
Prabhuji,
is-
please continue.
That is the real process of receiving Bhagavatam.
It is the secret of receiving Bhagavatam. Earlier also he said secret of learning Bhagavatam. This is the process of receiving Bhagavatam. What does it mean? Receiving Bhagavatam means you have so much earnestness that you don't just simply hear and think about something else. When you are hearing, we are also enjoying that pastime. We are physically being there in that pastime. Suppose Krishna is dancing in the heads of the Kaliya. We should picturize that scene in front of our eyes. Only then we can nivishta can happen. If I simply read it, okay, Kalia is something, okay, something. If Krishna is dancing on the huge snake, we have to imagine, we have to conceive of that thing in our minds. How huge is the snake? How many hooves were there? And Krishna is small, but then he still is dancing there. So that conceiving the whole thing is very important whenever we hear the subject matter. Please continue.
One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page.
This is the thing. See, presence of Lord Krishna in every page does not mean that you will see the sound and the form in each other. Not like that. But the enjoyment or the bliss we get by seeing the form of the Lord and drinking his form through our eyes, through the eyes in the form, that same taste you will experience while reading the purports of Prabhupada, transcendental purports of Prabhupada. That's what it is.
Oh.
You got it? This is what is
Yes.
called seeing the he wants to hear with rapt attention. Rapt attention, Maharaj used to give this example that rapt attention means when you are really listening with so much rapt attention to Krishna Katha, somebody comes and stabs you also, you should not feel it. You should not feel that pain. That is the real rapt attention.
So wonderful.
Means you will not even feel the pain. You will be so much absorbed in hearing the Krishna Katha that that glorification of the pastimes of Krishna, that something happens, so you will not feel it. You will just continue. And that you can experience when we are listening to pure Krishna Katha coming from pure-hearted souls. That we will have hunger. We will not feel it. We will not feel the time for passing of the time. We will not feel sleep. Or we will not feel thirsty. None of these things will happen. That is how when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking, Parishit Maharaj was doing Nivishta. He raised a text with proper attention. That is why he was asking questions more and more. Right? It's such a beautiful thing that Prabhupada is giving here. And every line of this purport is should worth the weight of a kilo of gold. Every line of this purport I am taking. Please read further. Now Prabhupada is giving step by step how to get into that rapt technique.
The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But
So up to this
somehow,
point, Prabhupada is giving a sequence. No one can be pure in, no one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. So rapt attention, the prerequisite for rapt attention is that our mind has to be pure. For mind has to be pure, what is the prerequisite? We have to be pure in action. Our actions, if our actions means, suppose if I do my get up early and I do the puja, I do chanting, I do my regular sadhana, I get ready and I do all my things in a regulated way. Tuktahara viharasya yukta karmasu, tukta swapna abodhasya. That shloka is there, no? So when we regulate everything, ahara suddhe, sattva suddha. Sattva suddhe, dhruva smriti. Dhruva smriti, smriti lambe, sarva garantinam vipramoksha. Prabhupada writes very nicely. Right? So this is how ahara suddhe, sattva suddha. When our eating, sleeping, mating, defending, these things are Shuddha in the Shuddha Sattva state thing, then automatically our actions will be following in the Sattva state. And if our actions are Sattva, then our mind will be controlled and it will also keep thinking in the right Sattva Guna. And when through what is that? Through a Smriti, our memory capacity will increase. Why our attention span is not long enough? Because our memory capacity is not good enough. We are not able to retain the things. That is why our attention span goes away. Suppose if I retain the things properly, Prabhus and Mataji. Suppose I say today whatever we are discussing, I am remembering. Tomorrow we discuss on next verse, then automatically my smriti will connect from the previous class to this class. Yes or no?
yes, Prabhu, yes.
Right? And that is what will make our attention span longer. Because my smriti is, my memory capacity is low, my attention span also is reducing. So I'm not able to retain everything. Nowadays, why children are not able to retain properly? Because they have alternate sources of memory. So suppose I say, what is 4 into 17? Then automatically you will say 68 in those days. But now everything is in calculator. So they don't need to remember this thing. They will immediately type 4 into 17 equal to 68. They will tell like that. So there is no need for them to, they don't feel a need for Smriti Lambe. And as a result, what happens? See, Ahara, Shuddha Ahara is not there. Ahara Shuddha is Sattva Shuddha. If your Ahara is good, eating, sleeping, mating, defending is good, then our we will stay in the Shuddha Sattva. Right? Ahara Shuddha, Sattva Shuddha, Sattva Shuddha, Dhruva Smriti. When our Sattva Shuddha, when we are studying things, then our Smriti is Dhruva, which memory capacity is good. We are able to remember it for a longer time. Smriti Lambe Sarva Granthi Nam Vipramoksha. Means when my smriti is long, I mean, I'm able to remember these shlokas, these things of Prabhupada's purport and of for longer. Then from all the confusions and inconsistencies and troubles and anxieties, I will be liberated. That is what Prabhupada is translating it here, in fact. He says, no one can give rapture to who is not pure in mind. Right? What is pure in mind? Smriti Lambe, it is, I think Piyush Prabhu is quoting the sloka. Thank you, Prabhuji, for that. It's in the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, and immediately he quoted it. So we cannot give rapt attention if we are not pure in mind. And we cannot be pure in mind if our actions are not pure. We are not, our regulated actions are not in Suddha Sattva. And one who is not eating, sleeping, eating, sleeping, waiting, and defending if he is not pure, then his action will be impure. And again, his mind will be impure. And then he will not be able to give rapt attention. This is the normal sequence that Prabhupada is telling that. So, in order to have rapt attention, we should start with Ahara Suddha, Sattva Suddha. We have to start with our eating, sleeping, mating, and defending to be in Suddha Sattva. So you eat proper food at the right time, then you will sleep early. Then your sleep will be long, undisturbed sleep. Then you will get up early. When you get up early, your chanting and other things also will be pure. And then the mind will be automatically able to control and will have a rapt attention. But then this is the proper, I mean to say, this is the normal sequence. But then Prabhupada is giving a beautiful conception in the last line. Can you read the time, Prabhupada? No one can be pure in action. Yes, Prabhu, we are able to see it. This thing, we are mute, Prabhu. You are on mute. Okay, I will just read it. It seems like you are on mute. No one can be pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. So even in our regulated things like eating, sleeping, our defense, fearing means our defense, and mating, and all these things we have to be regulated. Pure means regulated. But somehow or other, then Prabhupada is telling that there is an exception route. This seems to be a very difficult path. If somebody says, then Prabhupada saying this is an exception. What is that? Somehow or other, if someone hears, that somehow or other means by Krishna's arrangement. Somehow or other, Krishna is having this costless mercy. The Acharyas are having some costless mercy. He has to rapt attention from the right person at the very beginning. See how nicely Prabhupada is writing. At the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. Fourth time is repeating this, in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. You can see as a person means experience the person here, right here in the pages of Bhagavatam. At the very beginning. And Prabhupada says, assuredly see, they can see. There is no doubt. There is no ifs and buts. And Prabhupada wrote this purport when he was in Vrindavan, in the Radha Damodar temple or Vamsi, Vamsi Vihari temple, or sure. There's one other place where he was staying before that. Vamsidhari temple or something, just next to that other Buklan temple. So wherever he was writing this. At that time, he had no idea that he will be traveling to the west. At that time, he had no idea that he will be traveling or opening or creating this ISKCON worldwide society, etc., etc. And whatever he wrote here came into being, came to be in front of our eyes. It was there. It happened. So Krishna made it happen through Prabhupada. Because when he went to the Bauri, he was talking all these things, not everything was going over the heads of the devotees. They had no idea what they were getting into. They were in their shorts and t-shirts and all hippie dress and half drunk or half intoxicated with their girlfriends or boyfriends sitting and listening to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is there sitting as a sannyasi there. And they had no idea about rapt attention. They had no idea about pure eating, sleeping, depending, whatever. Everything is impure. But the last line is what Prabhupada proved here. Somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention. Prabhupada actually pulled them up from that gutter and then he made them stand there and say, this is the rapt attention. Now you have to be listening to me, rapt attention. Somehow, by the purity of the speaker or the subject matter, even though they were not capable, they pulled it up. This is what Narada is telling to Vyasadeva also. Do not doubt. This message is automatically it will pull people out from their degraded state. You just have to have the urge to give it to others. That's all. Somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, Prabhupada is the right person, and he made them hear with rapt attention. And at the very beginning, they could experience the Hare Krishna mantras potency and Bhagavatam potency. One can assuredly see Lord Krishna in person in the page of Bhagavatam. That is the reason, after so many years, you see, so as Giriraj Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj, Jayaprakash Maharaj, anybody you take, they all had somewhere or other they had experience of these things, and they came to Krishna and they came to Prabhupada. They were disillusioned or they were frustrated with this world's way of work. So they came to Krishna. They came to Prabhupada. And as soon as they came in touch with Prabhupada, they saw Krishna in the face of Bhagavatam. And that is why, you see, if Giriraj Maharaj could write such nice, wonderful books after 50 years. Smriti Lambe, this Smriti is so long because of Ahara Smriti, Satya Smriti, Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Lambe, Sarva Janti Nanam Moksha. Don't we see what Prabhupada wrote in Bhagavatam here in action, both through Prabhupada also and through Prabhupada's disciples also. Anyone you take, they have surpassed the material limitations. To take Jayaprakash Maharaj, every week we hear that he is having some surgery here, some illness there, some checkup there, something here, something there. But he still does want to and still goes and gives classes. And Gopal Krishna Maharaj, yes, many times he could not walk. He so much difficulty in walking that devotees had to almost hold him when he's walking and all that. But you can see him give classes. You can see him perform Mangalarti. You can see him doing every day physically. He does personally himself. He does the puja, all the deities he has. So many such examples are there in our. They're all touched by the pure devotee Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is through them. He is showing us still how by the touch of pure devotee, they all turned into gold, pure gold. Purity suppose. Any questions, comments, Prabhu? Please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Samparyam.
So the last line is really applicable right now. Somehow or other, we are trying to have rapt attention and hearing Bhagavatam commentary from you, so that we are seeing
No,
Krishna
I'm not
in the
speaking.
Bhagavatam.
We are only reading Prabhupada's books. Yeah. No, it's only from Prabhupada. Prabhupada is so much toiled and oiled. We are only simply, as I told you yesterday also, that we are only bogis. We are not yogis. We are just bogis. We are enjoying Prabhupada's all cooked up. Whatever Prabhupada had cooked for us, the seven, whatever Chapan Bhoga, how many ever bhogs, 18,000 bhogas that he has given. Each one of it we are just enjoying. Every time you enjoy reading this, it tastes even more and more sweeter. I don't know how many times I have read this purport. Hundreds of times I have read this purport 1342. Every time I read, it is newer and newer and newer. Never felt that, oh, I've read it many times. I've never felt like that. Because every page you can see Krishna. Assuredly see that Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavad. How much emphatically Prabhupada is giving that assurance to us. Isn't it, Prabhu's mother? They're all searching after Krishna, and Prabhupada has given the best tool. You take one is a holy name, in the Japa bead, every bead you can experience Krishna, and every time you chant Hare Krishna mantra, every bead you chant Hare Krishna mantra, you'll experience. And every verse and purport that we read will experience Krishna. We'll see Krishna in person in the place. So many are there. Why we are stopping? Why we are not able to release it? We don't know. Thank you.
Prabhu, with your
Anyone?
examples and the detailed explanation, that really helping us, Prabhu, because when we read alone and these purports, we may not able to understand this much. But when you are explaining with the examples, really it's like a nectar flowing
Prabhu,
through
I am
ears.
honestly speaking, I honestly telling you, Prabhu, I don't prepare any of these examples. It just comes because
Yeah.
it's
That is true.
purely Prabhupada's mercy. It's purely Prabhupada's mercy and Guru Maharaj mercy, nothing else. Because we know how much importance is given to this 1540, how much importance is given to this 1344 purport. So many times we were reading this. Today also I was listening to one lecture, and in that lecture some discussions were going on, and we know Purnendu Prabhu, right? Andhra Prabhu. He reads this part to Maharaj in the class. This 1344, this part, especially this simple gearing is not all these few lines. And Maharaj gives nice ideas about that. So somehow or other, these things, because he knows, Prabhupada knows, Kali Yuga, we cannot expect people to follow the process from action, from eating, sleeping, meditating to action, to then to the mind, then to rapid attention. It is very difficult for us to go through. So initial token mercy has to be given by Krishna by through the compassionate acharyas like Prabhupada. So that is why they have given this. They have given, they have shown by practice. Somehow or other, Krishna, that means causeless mercy. Somehow or other means causeless mercy. Krishna serenity. If someone hears with rapt attention, where that rapt attention coming from, we don't know. Krishna is making us come to that point of rapt attention. At least just one moment he's saying, one moment you come to rapt attention. Somewhere some Ajnana Sugati you might have done, or even if you are not done by causeless mercy of the Acharyas. So that one moment also you hear with rapt attention from the right person, then you'll experience it. And once you experience it, Mukunda Sevi Anyavadanga Samskriti, you will never leave it. Once you taste it, that Mukunda Sevi Anyavadanga Samskriti, Paran Mukundagari, Upabhuhanam, again and again, oh, that taste I cannot taste anywhere else. That taste I cannot taste. So we keep on trying everywhere. It's not matching to that original taste of it. And that is why, that is how this rapt attention gets. To keep thinking about what do you call, bring it up again and again in our mind. Recap is do the recapping of our the taste that we enjoyed. Even now, I still hanker for that taste when I used to sit for hours together with Maharaj and Ganesh. This one purpose, one purpose there. There are times when we used to enjoy for hours together reading one or two lines of Prabhupada's purport only with as well as Ganapati Maharaj. And I still hanker for that. There's many such things that keep you hanker for it because you have tasted it once. You don't want to leave it. Any other things that you taste, you see that it's okay, but it's not like the same taste as because that purity. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
Prabhuji,
Yes, thank you.
Vyasdeva was holding it back for what was the reason, and until Narad Muni came and asked him or explained him, then only he started it. So what was that reason he could hold? He was holding it in spite of such a very important thing.
That is the Leela. Through himself, just like Chaitanya Prabhu, personally through himself, he showed how devotional service is so um, uh, enchanting, charming even to Krishna. Same way, Vyasudeva puts himself in that situation and lets Narad Muni, the Muni is actually devotee. I mean, in one way, he's an incarnation of Krishna also, but in another way, he's a devotee. So even though he's a devotee, he's acting as a spiritual master of Vyasadeva. So Krishna here takes that humble position, and through his pure devotee, he reveals to us what it means to give Bhagavatam to others and how it helps us save ourselves from despondency also. So Vyasadeva, what he's telling is, if I don't describe Bhagavatam to others, for others' well-being, I myself am in despondency. What to speak of others? So that has to be revealed by Narada Muni. That is the Leela. This whole thing is a Leela.
Okay.
You will see that Prabhupada writes in a purport. Because everywhere you will see Narada Muni is telling Vyasadeva that you have done so much of Adabrasuta Vishnuta Vibho. And you have Priya Shravasi Askalita Matibam. Like that you have learned with so much of austerity, penance and everything of that. But still why are you despondent? That question Vyasadeva wanted Narada Muni to ask him. This is the beautiful transcendental nature of Krishna, that he puts himself in a situation, or he puts his devotees in a situation like Arjuna, for example, so that the nectar can come out and we can all relish it.
Prabhuji, that is the reason Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying Jare Deke Tare Kaha Krishna Katha.
Exactly, Prabhu. That's the same thing. Because only by doing this, giving Krishna to others can we ourselves be happy and blissful. That's the secret. If you don't give, we cannot be blissful. Even after you have all the knowledge, still, if you just hold it to yourself and don't give it to others, then we will not be blissful at all. Then we will still be despondent.
Prabhu, not only this matter, but any matter, a person acquires some skill or some specialization, if he doesn't share, then he will be unhappy. And
Naturally, Prabhu. Yes, even suppose you have knowledge in maths, knowledge in physics, you enjoy it more when you give it to others, isn't it? Simply
Yes,
you
Prabhu.
just sit at home and solve some complicated problem, but you don't explain to others, you will not feel happy. In this world, anything that we do has its value or meaning to us when it has value and meaning to others. Then it is of use to others.
Wonderful.
That is the secret of our lives.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now
Okay,
I
Prabhu.
understood
It's such
that.
a nice.
Now I understood that why you tirelessly move and preach others. Thank you so much.
No, Prabhu, I go because like your Mataji, they make such wonderful, delicious prasadam that I just want to enjoy prasadam.
You are joking, Prabhu.
So this is such a nice thing. Only one line we read in the translation. You see how much that one line led to read an entire another purport. You see, this is how Bhagavatam has to be released. Nivishta. We haven't read the remaining part of the translation. So much more is there. I kindly request devotees to read through this that Grantaraj article, which was a transcription of Maharaj's lecture. I shared that link in the WhatsApp group. No, so please read it at a leisure. Before Saturday, we can discuss a little bit more. We have a few more things to discuss in this translation.
Okay, Prabhu. Fine.
It's not over yet. Only half of the translation you have read. So
That's wonderful.
we will stop here. Krishna willing, we will continue on Saturday. We will continue this particular verse even more. The more you relish these verses, no, the more you delve deeper into these verses, the more we can relish. And the more we relish, the more we'll be happy. The more we want to give it to others also. No? So let's try to do that. Krishna willing. And we'll stop here for this strategies. I know some of you might want to share some thoughts, but hold on. Let's hold on to it till Saturday morning, and we will continue reading this, hearing this further, this particular beautiful verse. Hare Krishna. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Anta Guru Dev ki jai, Patitanam Pavanam. Thank you, Prabhu Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
See you
Krishna.
soon.